What's up, everyone? We're back with another video. My apologies for like the last week or two. I had graduation, busy doing other things like finding a job and stuff. But I'm telling y'all, we're back this summer. We're gonna attack it. We're gonna grind, and we got a lot of stuff coming. So please like, comment, and subscribe, and give your thoughts on videos you would like me to do. Today, we're gonna talk about 10 players in college football that I feel like are stars that aren't getting talked about enough. So let's start in the SEC. Let's start with Eric Singleton. I feel like Eric Singleton was a guy when he was at Auburn. I was, as being an Auburn fan, I was head over heels for Eric Singleton. I felt like Eric Singleton was one of the most dynamic players in the transfer portal. He was the number one player in the transfer portal. And then this past cycle, Cam Coleman was the number one receiver in the transfer portal. So that tells you all you need to know about sort of the situation he was in. He just really didn't have a quarterback that could get him the ball, I felt like. And I feel like going over to Florida with Buster Faulkner, his OC at Georgia Tech, where he really shined, I feel like that's the type of version you will see of Eric Singleton at Florida. I feel like if I'm a Florida fan, I turn on the Georgia Tech film and I get excited because at Georgia Tech they were giving him the ball all types of ways, jet sweeps, end arounds. He had a catch. He's had a catch in every game he's played in since he's been in college. So I feel like he had very poor quarterback play at Auburn. I felt like he did struggle with drops, but Eric Singleton's definitely a guy he can go. I mean, he was having first round buzz last preseason as a guy that could go first round. So I mean, he definitely has all the things that can make him an NFL receiver. He could be in the NFL right now. Just probably not the grade he probably wanted is like maybe a third, fourth round guy. He could probably get back to a first round pick if he has the type of year that he probably knows he can have. But let's move over to Indiana. I think they got a steal with AJ Harris, the corner from Penn State. He was at Georgia formerly. He was a five-star coming out of high school at Central Phoenix City. He had all the intangibles, 6'1". He was an elite athlete. He was at Georgia, but he wanted to get on the field. He transfers to Penn State, has his sophomore year at Penn State, breaks out, gets first round buzz. Last year after last year with the firing of James Franklin, he probably didn't get the national attention he wanted. Probably didn't get the grade he wanted. So why not go to Kirk Cincinnati in Indiana for your last year and probably make sure you're a guaranteed first round pick? I mean, I was surprised he even back for his senior year. I thought he would be in the NFL right now, but I feel like whatever he wants to do at Indiana, I feel like he will definitely improve his draft stock because I feel like Indiana's getting a steal with AJ Harris. He's a quiet kid. He stays to himself, so I feel like he's definitely a guy that fits that Indiana mold. Let's definitely go to Drew Mestemaker at Oklahoma State. Drew Mestemaker was a guy when he was at North Texas, going to North Texas. He didn't even play or start in a game in high school, and he walked on to Oklahoma State, and he was the fifth, sixth string quarterback. And then his sophomore year, he leads the whole nation in passing with 4,379 yards, gets in the portal. He went to being a walk on in the portal, being a five-star prospect in the portal. So I mean, that tells you all you need to know about him. He has a very strong arm. He's a sneaky runner at times, too. And that air raid offense, what Eric Morris is trying to do, he fits it very well going with Eric Morris to Oklahoma State, they're gonna tear it up. I mean, he has a crazy arm. I mean, that offense with him, Wyatt Young. I think he has Chris Barnes from Wake Forest. I mean, those guys are gonna love that quarterback and Drew Mestemaker because he's gonna get them the ball. And we're not gonna go too far for our next guy in Caleb Hawkins. Caleb Hawkins as a true freshman. He ran for 1,434 yards and 25 touchdowns. He also led the nation in rushing touchdowns as well. But in the air raid offense, Caleb Hawkins is a true winner because they're throwing it all around the yard. The safeties, the DBs, they had to play far back. They can't load the box because of what they want to do offensively. So Caleb Hawkins he's the winner because he doesn't have to have a loaded box every play. He's gonna eat in the passing game and in the running game because he's just gonna be there like, hey, I'm right here. Because I look at it like this: Caleb Hawkins, Drew Messmaker coming from North Texas, they should be best friends. Because if Drew Messmaker is dropping dimes, it makes Caleb Hawkins' life way easier in the backfield. I would definitely watch out for Oklahoma State next year. A lot of young talent. Now, I'm not saying watch out for them to win the Big 12. It is a wide open conference, but I'm not saying that. Watch out for them maybe to play spoiler. They play teams like Texas Tech. They play teams like Houston. They play Oregon early. So I would say watch out for them to play spoiler. Watch out for them in the next couple of years, definitely to make some noise with all that young talent they got because Drew Mestemaker, he could go to the NFL after this year, but he's still really young. Last year he was a red shirt freshman. Caleb Hawkins can't go to the NFL after this year. He was a true freshman last year. So like all these guys, like you got some young talent to work with in Stillwater, Oklahoma. Now let's go to the SEC. And you guys know that I'm not telling no lie when I say this, being an Auburn fan. Yhonzae Pierre from Alabama, the edge rusher, outside linebacker, whatever you want to call him, he's a straight dog. He's an animal. Yhonzae Pierre, you can line him up in the box, but when he's up coming off that edge, he's a monster. He burst off the scene last year. He had 52 tackles, 14 and a half tackles for loss, 8 sacks, and 13 forced fumbles. I mean, I think he will. I would bet a lot of money he's going to be a first round pick after next year. Every offense has to know where Yhonzae Pierre is before every snap. Because if you don't account for Yhonzae Pierre, he can wreck your whole offense. Everything you want to do, he can wreck your offense because he is that type of player. He jumped off the scene when Quay Russo got hurt. And I mean, he didn't really want to give that spot back. But Yhonzae Pierre, I think he's one of the most non-talked about stars in college football because I feel like when he's on, he's on. Another guy that's not too crazy on social media. That could be why, but we're gonna go. We just went to Alabama, so let's go to Auburn. Xavier Atkins. When he came from LSU, I didn't expect that he was going to be the type of player he was at Auburn. I was like, okay, good depth piece, but Philip Dukes, he kept talking about Xavier Atkins like he was going to start, he was going to be a guy for Auburn. Next thing you know, Xavier Atkins was All American. So I admit that I was pretty wrong on that one. I'm glad I was wrong. He had 84 tackles, 17 tackles for a loss, 17.5 tackles for a loss, 9 sacks and interception. And he was playing on a underachieving Auburn team, was still getting All-American honors. He was still getting all these awards. So that just tells you what he can do on a team that has national spotlight with Alice Goller. So let's just say he's a superstar hiding in plain sight. Like Xavier Atkins, I think he has another year to unlock just because he's familiar with the system he's playing in. He knows that DJ Durkin system. Retaining DJ Durkin as the defensive coordinator is going to help him because I just feel like he's a dog. He's an animal. And with him more comfortable in that system, I feel like it could be really scary for the SEC and opposing quarterbacks. Next, I would like to go to somebody I played with. I would say Amare Thomas from Houston. I feel like he was on a bad UAB team his freshman and sophomore year. So he probably wasn't getting the national buzz when he hit the transfer portal the season before last. Like, look at it. He had 437 yards as a true freshman. Okay, he's a freshman. 670 yards as a sophomore. Okay. Then he goes to Houston. He goes for 966 yards and 12 touchdowns. So he goes up in conference. He goes up in competition in the Big 12 from the American. He goes for 966, his best year yet. Usually you'll see guys maybe it's a learning curve going up in competition. But he went up 966 to 12 touchdowns. I just feel like he's one of the most underrated receivers in college football. He reminds me sort of that Jeremy Bernard, Debo Samuel, sort of a John Mechie type of receiver. He's not the fastest receiver. He's not going to blow you away with his speed, but he's a straight football player. He's football fast, as they call it. I feel like he's another breakout player waiting to happen. I feel like he has another gear to him. I feel like he has a 1,200, 1,300 season in him. He had 8 touchdowns in the last 5 games. So that tells you, like, he started to get in the groove at the end of the season. He had a pretty consistent season, but they started getting him the ball. And having his quarterback back for another year, being with the same head coach another year, will just help him. And then we might as well stay with his teammate, right? Makhi Hughes. Makhi Hughes, when he was at Tulane, he had 1,378 yards in 2023. In 2024, he had 1,401 yards, 15 touchdowns. He goes to Oregon to play with his little brother, his 5-star brother, Naeem Offer. He got buried in a deep running back room in Oregon. And it only made sense. Okay, this is my last year. Let me go ahead and redshirt in these first 4 games. So it was probably a smart move to redshirt because now he goes and play with a guy in Willie Fritz, where he did have that good campaign in 2023, somebody that he's familiar with. So he goes to Willie Fritz in Houston, and I think it's a match made in heaven. I feel like you go to Willie Fritz in Houston, and I feel like with Connor Wigman, Amare Thomas, I feel like with that passing game, I feel like Makhi Hughes can maybe be a dark horse, like Heisman candidate. If Houston can have the type of season that they can have, I feel like Makhi Hughes is a straight dog. He is a baller. I feel like Makhi Hughes is gonna surprised a lot of people. I feel like a lot of people forgot about him because he didn't really play last year, but he can go. Just watch, he can go. While we're on the subject of running backs, Cam Cook, he led the whole nation in rushing with 1,659 yards at Jacksonville State. He had 7 straight games of 100 yards. He did not play for Rich Rodriguez at Jacksonville State. I did check that. So, but he probably does know some of the West Virginia players that came from Jacksonville State because they had a couple more go this cycle. But West Virginia's leading rusher last year had 335 yards. West Virginia's leading rusher last year had 355 yards. So you get a player from the portal and Cam Cook that had 1,659 yards versus 335. That's a night and day difference. You take that, don't matter what level. You take 1,700 every day of the week. So I feel like getting a guy like Cam Cook in there, that can just change that offense and maybe get West Virginia on the right track for what they're trying to do and establish a culture there. But for my last guy, KJ Duff, the 6'6", he's a nightmare. He's a physical contested specialist, whatever you want to call it, physical freak. If he was playing at a blue blood program, I feel like everybody in the nation would know who KJ Duff is. KJ Duff, I turned on his film, turned on his highlights. I didn't want to turn it off. Like he was making plays after plays after plays. He had 1,084 yards last year, a breakout year. And I just feel like if you guys go and watch the tape, you guys will say like Rutgers had to give him an uncomfortable amount of money because you could tell if Oregon, let's say any type of blue blood school would have got their hands on that tape, they would have been tampered. They would have just been tampering him. They would have been going after him. So shout out to Rutgers for keeping a guy like this. I feel like that's definitely one of the reasons why he's under the radar playing at a school like Rutgers. No disrespect, but he's definitely a guy to keep an eye on this upcoming year because he's a physical nightmare. I don't know how you guard a 6'6" wide receiver, and he can move. He's not a statue at 6'6", just going up catching balls. He can move too. He can run. So those are my top 10 stars that really nobody's talking about a lot. If you guys feel like I missed somebody, or you guys feel like you agreed with me on any of them, please leave a comment. Let me know, guys. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you guys so much. I'm out.